You know, guys, I have flaunted this dead horse over Kenny Pickett repeatedly, not just over the course of the 2023-24 NFL season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I've done it pretty much ever since I would say he was drafted by the Steelers and I knew what I was getting into with him. But now there is nothing that anybody can say or do about this guy that will diminish his value and what he means to the Pittsburgh Steelers for the long term, quite frankly, now that we have a new offensive coordinator. Because, like I said, everyone threw Matt Canada underneath the bus. Not me. I was an advocate of the firing. I think 99.99% of other Steeler fans were advocates of that as well. But I was in the small group of people who knew that getting rid of Matt Canada was just step one to fixing this offense. And I still stand by it that only Kenny Pickett can fix Kenny Pickett. Arthur Smith can only provide him the tools, but it's up to Kenny to be able to fix himself. What's going on, everybody? I am Mac, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe. Follow on Instagram, link is in the box below. Just another take about the hiring of Arthur Smith, as we hired him on Wednesday, I believe, earlier this week, a couple of days ago. And it got me thinking, a lot of Steeler fans buzzing down in my comments and a lot of Steeler fans on social media in general were like, well, Arthur Smith is going to be here and he's going to immediately fix up Kenny Pickett. Guys, that's not going to be the case, okay? Because like I said, only Kenny Pickett can fix Kenny Pickett. Only he can go out there and he can fix up the mistakes that he's put on for his first two seasons in the league. Okay? Now, a lot of talent evaluators have been interviewed by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they all say that Kenny Pickett can be fixed and that the main issue for why Kenny was held back for so long was because he was under Matt Canada's offense. And you look at the stats, you might think it's true, because he is 42nd in touchdown rating, 3rd in interception rating, 25th in the big plays, as it's called over there, 33rd in pass rate, which means there is a backup quarterback that is actually better than Kenny Pickett in passer rating, and 31st in points above replacement. Kenny Pickett was only worth 6 points as far as the Steelers are concerned with the offense. Those numbers, you look at them, they are mind-blowingly bad. But everyone's asking, who's it more on? Is it more on Kenny Pickett or is it more on Matt Canada? With me, the answer has to be somewhere in the middle, because two things can be true, all right? It's not all on Matt Canada and it's not all on Kenny Pickett. Because like I said, two things can be true. We know Matt Canada was a horrendous play caller. We know Matt Canada did not call the right plays, or he did not set up the right kind of offense for any kind of quarterback to succeed. And we used that excuse with Big Ben when he was there in Matt Canada's first year as offensive coordinator. When Matt Canada came in, Big Ben was leaving. And you gave him the benefit of the doubt because it's like, he has a 39-year-old quarterback under center who is past his prime. He's in the twilight of his career. He's going to retire at the end of 2021. The only reason he's there is because he's owed money. So you gave him the benefit of the doubt. If Big Ben was still if we still had prime Big Ben, he would look a million times better under center, and Matt Canada would come up with some great play calls for him. You don't know that completely. And then Mitch Trubisky comes in, starts the first quarter of 2022. Kenny Pickett comes in against the Jets. And for a while, it seemed like Kenny Pickett was just going through some growing pains as a starter. But last year, or this past season I should say, massive steps back. No improvement, no progress, no nothing with him. He looked more like a rookie in 2023 than he did in all of 2022. So it's like, yeah, Matt Canada certainly wasn't helping because his game plan on offense was the same thing. Every single hitch, every single route, every single play, every single run game, that was a product of Matt Canada, and that's just his offense. So that's true. But you know what else is true? Kenny Pickett just was not good. Matt Canada wasn't going out there under center, taking the snap, and he was not going out there, certainly, and not having good playmaking ability. He was not going out there not throwing over the middle. He was not going out there missing George Pickens or Deontay Johnson or whoever. That's on Kenny Pickett. And Matt Canada certainly wasn't over there throwing passes into multiple coverage, causing turnovers. That's on Kenny Pickett. And I think it speaks a lot of volumes when Mason Rudolph gets put in, basically because Kenny Pickett had to miss the remainder of the season with an injury. And Mason Rudolph put up better stats than Kenny Pickett ever did at any point in his entire career. A third-string backup, who, yes, I am an advocate of, Mason Rudolph is the best option that we have at quarterback right now. Mason Rudolph should definitely be the starter. But here's the thing about it. We know Kenny Pickett's going to be QB1 going into 2024 as long as Mike Tomlin is the head coach. Because for whatever reason, Tomlin just has a big man crush on him, and he refuses to make necessary changes. I mean, you just got yourself a new offensive coordinator. Now you could probably either go out there, get yourself a new quarterback, or finally give Mason the opportunity to start all 17 games. The very worst that can happen in my eyes with this Mason Rudolph thing is that he just shows that he's not a capable franchise starter. Then you at least know what the problem is. And I can't hound it enough. You need a quarterback to win in today's league. Mason, I think he's a very capable starter. I think he can win us games. He puts up decent stats. But we don't get that with Kenny Pickett. It's always poor vision with him. It's always bad mental processing when he's in the pocket. You don't see a guy who's looking to make a play. You see a guy who panics too easily when there's an ounce of pressure on him. He's missing guys. He's a one-read quarterback. And when his target and his first options are locked down, he tries to bail out on the play with his legs. You don't get that with Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph is a risk taker. Mason will go out there and he will give you a play one way or another. With Kenny Pickett, it's also, like I said, with the bad pocket presence. How many times last year alone have we sat down and watched games where Kenny's going up against a blitz, or someone's bringing the house against him, or there's, a linebacker about to charge into him, and he spins around away from him trying to create separation or make some maneuverability in the pocket, and he takes a sack. Unnecessary sacks. Bad pocket presence. His accuracy has only gotten worse. Specifically with his completion percentage, his catchable pass ratings, and his on-target throws have all gone downhill while nothing else has changed. You know what that tells me as a fan? That tells me that Kenny Pickett is a checkdown merchant, It tells me that he has bad football IQ and that he can't make a play. That's what that tells me with Kenny Pickett. And like I said, you can sit down and blame Matt Canada all you want because, yes, his offensive scheme did not help out Kenny Pickett whatsoever. But like I said, two things can be true at the same time. Matt Canada wasn't going out there taking the unnecessary sacks. Matt Canada wasn't going out there and trying to do and having bad maneuverability. Maybe Matt Canada got the same Wonderlic score that Kenny Pickett did if he ever took one, because Kenny Pickett, for as much as people love to crap on Lamar Jackson's 13 Wonderlic score, Kenny Pickett didn't do much better. He only got a 17 out of 50. 17 out of 50 on a Wonderlic. So maybe, hey, Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett share the same Wonderlic. But this tells me, going forward, you now have a new offensive coordinator, and there's no excuse for Kenny Pickett to go out there and still look like a rookie. Your excuses for him are running low. Okay? And whether or not people like the guy, and whether or not people believe that he's a capable starter in this league, like I said, I've flaunted that dead horse repeatedly over this past season alone. I don't think he's the guy. I don't need to sit down here and say that. You guys all know how I feel about Kenny Pickett as a starter. But now you have a new offensive coordinator in your system, and it's time for you to make it worthwhile with the tools that you're being used. So get it together. Can Arthur Smith fix Kenny Pickett? I believe he can. But like I said, that's not Arthur Smith's job. Arthur Smith is to fix the whole offense. Kenny Pickett's job is to fix Kenny Pickett. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I am Mac, checking on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.